The girl who shouldn't be there. The galactic market never slept. Lights flickered above long metal paths. Loud voices mixed with machine sounds. Creatures from many worlds were pushed, pulled, and sold like broken tools. Some cages were full. Some were empty. None were kind. This place was not meant for humans. Yet, a small human girl walked through the crowd. She moved slowly, careful not to draw attention. Her boots were old. Her jacket was too big, hanging loose from her thin shoulders. Dust clung to her brown hair. Her face showed no fear, only tired focus. People stared. Humans were rare here, and when they appeared, it was usually as workers or worse. A tall alien merchant laughed as she passed. "Lost little thing," he said. She did not answer. The girl stopped near the end of the market, where broken goods were sold cheap. This area smelled of oil and blood. No buyer stayed here long. A flickering cage caught her eye. The power field was weak. The metal bars were cracked. Inside lay a creature that barely moved. A dragon. Not a large one. Not proud or shining like the stories. This one was small, young, and dying. Its scales were dull, many burned black. One wing was bent at a wrong angle. Slow breaths lifted its chest. Its tail lay still on the cold floor. The girl stepped closer. A nearby seller noticed her and laughed loudly. "That thing," he said. "It's done. Won't last the hour." She looked at him. "How much?" The seller blinked, surprised. Then he smiled. 3 credits, he said. Cheaper than scrap. 3 credits was nothing. And everything. The girl reached into her pocket. Her hand paused. Inside were only a few small coins. All she had left. Food money. Travel money. Survival money. She looked back at the dragon. One eye opened. Just slightly. Golden. Faded. Watching her. The crowd around them kept moving. Voices echoed. Deals were made. No one cared. Except her. She placed the 3 credits on the counter. The seller laughed again and pushed a small control band toward her. "Your problem now." The moment her fingers touched the band, every sound stopped. Not slowly. Instantly. Market lights froze mid-flicker. Voices cut off like broken signals. Even the air felt heavy, thick, wrong. The girl looked around. Everyone else was frozen too. Not moving. Not breathing. Then the scanners died. One by one, blue screens went black. Security drones dropped from the air and hit the floor with dull thuds. The seller's smile vanished. "What did you do?" he whispered. The girl did not answer. The dragon's breathing changed. Faster. Stronger. Its chest rose higher than before. A soft glow spread under its cracked scales. The broken wing twitched. The cage shook. A low sound filled the air. Not loud, but deep. Ancient. The girl stepped back, heart racing. The dragon lifted its head. Chains that once held it snapped like thin wire. Metal bars bent outward. Somewhere far away, deep beyond stars and space, something moved. Something old. Something powerful. A voice echoed, not in sound but in feeling, like pressure on the mind. "Found." The market lights flickered back on. Everyone gasped. Creatures screamed and ran. The seller fell backward, crawling away. Security alarms wailed too late. The girl stood frozen as the dragon slowly stood on shaking legs. It looked at her, not as prey, not as food, as something else. The dragon lowered its head. Gently, it touched her shoulder. A soft mark burned into the metal floor beneath them, glowing bright red. A symbol no one had seen in centuries. A royal mark. The market fell silent again. Not from machines this time. From fear. Because everyone now knew one thing. This was no dying dragon. And the human girl who bought it for 3 credits should never have been here. The price of 3 credits. No one moved. The market, once loud and cruel, now felt like a graveyard. Hundreds of eyes were fixed on one place, on the small human girl and the dragon standing beside her. The dragon's body still looked weak. Its scales were cracked. Its wing hung low. Yet something about it was wrong in a terrifying way. It was awake. Security lights flashed red. A metallic voice echoed from above. Unregistered bioweapon detected. Drones rose from hidden ports in the ceiling. Their weapons warmed, humming with deadly energy. The seller screamed. "I didn't know." It was dying. I swear. No one listened. The girl finally moved. She stepped back, slowly, her hands shaking. She did not understand what was happening. She only knew one thing. Every instinct in her body told her to stay close to the dragon. The dragon turned its head toward the drones. Its eyes were no longer faded gold. They burned bright. The temperature dropped. Frost formed on metal cages. Steam rose from warm bodies. The air cracked like thin glass. A traitor whispered, voice trembling, "That is not fire. That is void frost." Another shook his head. "Impossible. Only royal blood can." The dragon growled. Not loud, not angry. A warning. The drones fired. Blue energy beams rushed forward. They never reached the girl. The air bent. The beams curved away, slamming into walls, melting steel like soft wax. Explosions shook the market. Creatures screamed and ran in panic. The girl covered her head and fell to her knees. The dragon moved. Despite its injuries, it placed itself fully in front of her. Its body shook, but it did not fall. One wing spread wide, blocking her from every angle. A faint glow pulsed from its chest. Each pulse grew stronger. Somewhere deep beneath the station, ancient systems began to wake. Locked doors opened. Forgotten codes started running. A voice spoke through the market speakers. Not the station's voice. Something else. Royal's signature confirmed. Every guard froze. Royal's signature meant one thing: death or obedience. The seller fainted. The girl looked up, tears in her eyes. "I didn't mean," she whispered. "I just didn't want it to die." The dragon heard her. It lowered its head again, closer this time. Its warm breath brushed her face. Slowly, carefully, it touched her forehead with its own. The glow surged. Pain ripped through the dragon's body. Old wounds sealed. Cracked scales reformed, darker and stronger. The broken wing straightened with a sharp sound. The bond was forming, a bond that should not exist. A senior market officer shouted, "Kill the human. Break the link." Weapons locked on her. Before anyone could fire, the floor split open. A shockwave rolled through the market, throwing bodies into the air. Cages shattered. Metal screamed. From the cracked floor, a massive symbol burned into view, ancient, forbidden, undeniable. A royal crest. Everyone recognized it. Some dropped to their knees. Some ran. Some cried. Because this crest meant one thing. The dragon was not lost. It was hidden. Hidden from something worse than death. The dragon lifted its head and roared. The sound tore through shields and minds alike. People collapsed, clutching their heads as memories flooded back. Old wars, burning worlds, and a queen who destroyed entire fleets alone. A whisper spread through the crowd. The queen, far away, across deep space, a massive presence stirred. A dragon queen opened her eyes. She felt pain. She felt rage. And she felt something new, a human. Her claws dug into stone. "Who touched my child?" Her voice echoed through stars. Back in the market, silence returned. The dragon stood tall now, fully awake. It looked down at the girl. Then, slowly, it wrapped its tail around her legs, not to trap her, to protect her, because the galaxy had just made a mistake, and the price of 3 credits was about to be paid in fear. When the galaxy held its breath, the roar faded, but the silence it left behind was worse. The market no longer felt like a place of trade. It felt like a crime scene. Broken cages lay everywhere. Smoke drifted through the air. Creatures hid behind metal walls, afraid to breathe too loudly. In the center stood the dragon, no longer weak, no longer dying. It was still young, but now it was awake. Its scales were darker, stronger, marked with faint, glowing lines that slowly faded in and out like a living heartbeat. Its eyes scanned the market, sharp and aware. And beside it stood the human girl, small, shaking, alive. The dragon's tail stayed wrapped around her legs. Protective, possessive. A senior commander stepped forward, his armor cracked but his voice firm. "All units," he said slowly, "do not attack." Some soldiers stared at him in shock. "But sir," one whispered, that thing, the commander snapped, "is a royal dragon." Everyone froze. Royal dragons were not myths. They were warnings. Entire empires were built around avoiding them. The girl looked up at the dragon, confused. I didn't know, she said softly. I swear. The dragon lowered its head again, its large eye locking onto hers. For a moment, the market disappeared from her mind. She saw fire, stars, a broken egg hidden in darkness, hands that tried to kill, hands that failed. Tears filled her eyes. You were alone, she whispered. The dragon answered, not with words, but with feeling. Yes. A sudden alarm screamed louder than the rest. Incoming warp signatures. Dozens of them. Military grade. Heavy. The commander's face drained of color. That's not station security, he muttered. That's a fleet. Holographic screens burst to life. Unknown warships appeared. Black, sharp, marked with an old symbol scratched out of records. Dragon hunters. The ones who were supposed to be dead. Panic returned. They found him, someone cried. They finally found him. The dragon growled low and deep. The floor trembled under its claws. The girl grabbed its scale without thinking. Please, she said, don't leave me. The dragon turned to her. Then it did something no dragon had done in recorded history. It bent its head and knelt. Gasps filled the air. A royal dragon kneeling before a human? Impossible. A hunter's voice echoed through the station speakers. Step away from the asset, human, the voice said calmly. You are temporary. The girl stood. Her knees shook, but she stood. No, she said. The hunters laughed. You paid 3 credits, the voice continued. We paid in blood. You don't understand what you're holding. Understand enough, she said quietly. You left him to die. The dragon rose behind her. Its wings spread fully now, casting a shadow that swallowed the market. The glow returned, stronger, brighter. Ancient words burned into the walls. A challenge. The hunters fired. Missiles screamed through the air. The dragon moved once. Time slowed. The dragon inhaled. The universe seemed to pull inward. Then it exhaled. Not fire. Not ice. Judgment. The missiles vanished. Not exploded. Not deflected. Gone. Space itself tore open, swallowing them whole. The station shook violently. Ships outside lost power and drifted helplessly. The hunters screamed in disbelief. This isn't possible. The dragon roared again. And this time, the roar carried a name. A royal name. Across the stars, something answered. The dragon queen rose from her throne of bone and fire. Her eyes burned with fury. They hurt you, she said. Her wings unfolded, and they touched what is mine. Back in the market, the girl collapsed from exhaustion. The dragon caught her before she hit the ground, curling around her gently, protectively, as if the entire universe no longer mattered. Only her, because the bond was complete. And now, the galaxy would pay the price. The queen who does not forgive. The station was dying. Lights flickered wildly. Gravity failed in short bursts. Broken ships drifted outside the viewports like dead insects. Alarms screamed until their voices cracked into static. At the center of it all, the dragon stood unmoving. Its wings were spread wide now, filling the broken market hall. Every scale glowed faintly, marked with ancient power. The air around it shimmered, bending light and sound. Curled safely beneath its chest was the human girl. She was unconscious. Her breathing was shallow. Her face was pale. The dragon lowered its head, touching her gently with its nose. A soft pulse of energy flowed from it into her body, steady and calm. She would live, but the price had already been paid. A senior commander approached slowly, removing his helmet. Sweat ran down his face. Royal One, he said carefully, his voice shaking. We did not know. The dragon turned one glowing eye toward him. Knowing did not matter. The dragon lifted its head and roared again, not in rage, but in command. The sound rolled through the station and beyond it, carried by ancient channels older than hyperspace. A signal, a call. Across the stars, space twisted. A massive shadow emerged from warp. Then another, then dozens more. The Dragon Queen's fleet had arrived. Ships the size of cities blocked out the stars. Their hulls were carved from black crystal and living metal. Each one carried the same royal crest, now burned into the market floor. The The station's defense systems shut down automatically. No one ordered it. They simply obeyed. A voice filled every corridor, every mind, every soul. Deep, cold, female. I am here. Creatures collapsed to their knees. Some screamed. Some cried. Some prayed. The Dragon Queen stepped through a tear in space itself. She was enormous. Her scales shone like dark suns. Her wings stretched wider than the market hall. Her eyes burned with ancient fire and something far worse. Control. She looked at the destruction, then at the soldiers, then at the unconscious human girl. Time slowed. Every living thing waited. The Queen moved. One step, then another. The station groaned under her weight. She stopped before the dragon and the girl. Her gaze softened just slightly. My child, she said. The young dragon lowered its head in respect. The Queen's eyes shifted to the girl. A human, she said. Weak, short-lived, fragile. The market held its breath. The Queen raised a claw. Soldiers screamed, thinking the girl would die. Instead, the claw hovered. The Queen closed her eyes. She felt the bond, felt the choice, felt the sacrifice. She gave her last credits. The Queen said slowly. She chose you when the universe did not. The claw lowered. The Queen bowed. Not fully, but enough. Shock rippled through the station. The Dragon Queen bowed to a human. She is under my protection, the Queen declared. Any who harm her will burn across eternity. Then her voice turned cold. Now, she said, bring me those who try to kill my son. The hunters were dragged forward, screaming. They begged. They lied. They offered worlds and fleets. The Queen did not listen. You left him to die, she said, so you will learn how it feels. She opened her mouth. The hunters vanished, erased from existence, not even ash left behind. Silence returned. The Queen turned to the commander. This station lives, she said, because of the human. The commander bowed deeply. The Queen looked once more at the girl. Wake her, she commanded gently. The dragon pulsed energy again. The girl's eyes fluttered open. She looked up and saw the Queen. Fear froze her. The Queen leaned down until their eyes met. You saved my child, the Queen said, and now the galaxy will know your name. The girl swallowed hard. I just didn't want him to be alone. For the first time in centuries. The Dragon Queen smiled. And far across the stars, empires began to panic. Because humanity had just been noticed. The offer that could break the stars. The silence after the Queen's smile was heavy. No one spoke. No one dared. The Dragon Queen straightened, her massive wings folding slowly against her body. Each movement sent deep vibrations through the station, like the echo of a distant storm. She looked at the human girl again. The girl stood on unsteady legs. The young dragon pressed close to her side. She could feel its warmth, its heartbeat, steady, strong, alive. You are afraid, the Queen said. The girl nodded. Yes, she replied honestly. The Queen studied her for a long moment. Good, she said. Fear keeps the foolish alive. A ripple of confusion passed through the crowd. The Queen turned to the gathered commanders, traitors, and station leaders. You allowed my child to suffer, she said calmly. You sold him a scrap. You watched him die. Her voice did not rise. It did not need to. The station leaders fell to their knees. We didn't know, one cried. We beg. The Queen raised one claw. They fell silent instantly. I do not punish ignorance, she said. I punish choice. Her eyes returned to the girl. You made a choice, the Queen continued. A costly one. The Queen lifted her claw again, and a glowing image formed in the air. Stars, fleets, worlds burning and being reborn. I offer you power, the Queen said. Gasps filled the hall. Stand beside my son, she said. Live under my protection. I will give you wealth beyond measure. No human empire will ever touch you. The girl's breath caught. Power. Safety. A life without hunger or fear. The young dragon looked at her, golden eyes calm and trusting. The Queen's voice lowered. But, she said, you will never return to your kind. Your life will be long and lonely. The offer was clear. Become something more than human. Or remain small. Weak. Mortal. The galaxy waited. The girl clenched her fists. I don't want power, she said softly. The Queen tilted her head. I want him to be safe. the girl continued. And I want my people to live. That's all. A murmur spread. The queen's eyes narrowed, not in anger. In interest. You reject me? The queen asked. The girl shook her head. I trust you, she said. But I won't abandon who I am. The station felt colder. This was the moment empires would remember. The queen laughed. A deep, thunderous sound that shook the walls. Human, she said. You are far more dangerous than you know. The queen waved her claw, and the star map shifted. A red zone appeared. Human space. They will come for you, the queen said. Your kind is curious, greedy, afraid. The girl said nothing. They will call you a threat, the queen continued. They will try to control you. The dragon growled softly. The queen nodded. So I'll make a second offer, she said. The lights dimmed. You will return to your people, the queen said. Not as my subject. The girl looked up sharply. But as my message. The queen leaned closer. Tell them this, she said quietly. The age of hunting dragons is over. Her eyes burned bright. And the age of ignoring humans who protect us is over too. The queen straightened. I will not rule your species, she said. But I will watch it. The girl swallowed hard. What happens if they don't listen? She asked. The queen smiled again. This time, there was no warmth in it. Then the stars will learn, she said. The queen turned away, wings unfolding. The fleet outside began to move. The young dragon pressed closer to the girl. The queen paused. One last thing, she said. She looked at the girl. My son chose you, she said. That makes you family. A symbol of living fire burned into the girl's wrist. Gentle, warm, unbreakable. The mark of a dragon-bound human. Across the galaxy, sensors flared. Empires panicked, because humanity had just been given a choice. And history was about to change. When humanity answered, human space did not sleep. News spread faster than ships ever could. Broken signals from a market station flooded human networks. Blurred images, shaking audio. One clear truth. A human girl stood beside a dragon. A royal dragon. Screens across human worlds replayed the same moment. The dragon lowering its head to her, the queen bowing, the station shaking under ancient power. Governments panicked. Admirals argued. Religious groups screamed about signs and endings. Dragons are weapons, one leader shouted. They are extinction events, another said. And now one belongs to us, a third whispered. The girl's name spread next. She was called many things. Traitor, chosen, threat, hope. She did not hear any of it. She stood inside a quiet medical room aboard a neutral station. The young dragon lay curled beside her, sleeping deeply. Its breathing was slow and calm. The mark on her wrist glowed softly. The dragon queen watched from the shadows. You will be hunted, the queen said. By your own kind. The girl nodded. I know. Human fleets began to move. Official messages demanded control of the dragon. Secret orders were darker. Capture the asset. Silence the girl. Erase this symbol. The first human warship arrived. Then 10 more. Weapons locked onto the station. The commander's voice came through all channels. Human girl, he said, return to us. You are not safe there. The girl stepped forward. I am safe, she replied calmly. You are being manipulated, the commander said. That creature is using you. The dragon stirred, sensing her fear. The girl placed a hand on its scale. No, she said. It trusted me first. The human fleet powered weapons. The dragon queen's eyes hardened. So, she said softly, this is your answer. Before she could act, something unexpected happened. A small human transport ship moved between the fleets. Unarmed. Old. Civilian. A voice crackled through open channels. This is Captain Reyes, the voice said. Medical Corps. We stand with the girl. Another ship followed. Then another. Refuge ships. Aid vessels. Old cargo haulers. No weapons. Just humans. We remember what it means to protect the weak, a voice said. We remember being hunted, said another. The commanders shouted orders. But it was too late. Millions watched live as humans placed themselves between dragons and guns. The dragon queen froze. For the first time in her long life. She hesitated. The young dragon woke and lifted its head. It looked at the human ships, then at the girl. It roared, not in anger, in pride. The girl stepped forward again. "We are not your enemies," she said to her people. "We never were." Silence spread across space. Weapons powered down. One by one, the Dragon Queen exhaled slowly. "So," she said, "humanity has chosen." She turned to the stars. "Remember this day," she said, "when humans stood unarmed and were not destroyed." The mark on the girl's wrist flared bright. Across human space, something changed. Not treaties, not laws, belief. And far away, old enemies watched quietly, learning, because the galaxy had just seen something terrifying. Not dragons, not queens, but humans who refused to be afraid. The day the galaxy changed forever. The galaxy did not forget. Not the image of human ships standing unarmed. Not the Dragon Queen's silence. And never the small human girl beside a royal dragon. But peace never comes without a price. From the dark edges of space, something old began to move. They called themselves the Void Council. Ancient races that survived by destroying anything they could not control. Dragons, humans, empires, all were threats to them. And now, both had chosen each other. The council acted fast. A weapon was awakened. Not a fleet, not an army, a star killer. It appeared without warning near a human colony world. Space bent around it. Gravity screamed. Oceans rose as if the planet itself felt fear. A message echoed across all channels. "Deliver the dragon and the human," the council demanded, "or watch this world die." Human leaders argued. Some begged. Some panicked. The girl stood in silence, watching the dying star on screen. The Dragon Queen waited. The young dragon pressed close to the girl, sensing her pain. "I'll go," the girl said quietly. "No," the dragon growled. The queen stepped forward. "This is my war," she said. The girl shook her head. "It started with me," she replied. "Let it end with me." The dragon roared in protest. She placed both hands on its face. "You are not alone anymore," she said. "Remember that." The girl boarded a small ship alone. No weapons. No guards, just a human heart. The Void Council waited. They laughed when they saw her. "This is what frightens dragons," one voice mocked. The girl stepped forward. "You fear us," she said simply. "That's why you hide." The council fired the weapon. The Dragon Queen screamed and launched herself across space. Too late. The beam struck and stopped. The girl raised her marked hand. The dragon's power answered. Human belief answered. Every human ship, every mind, every hope reached out at once. The beam shattered. The star stabilized. The Void Council panicked. "This is impossible." The Dragon Queen arrived, fury incarnate. The young dragon roared beside her mother. Human fleets surged forward, not in rage. In unity. The council fell. Their weapon collapsed into nothing. Silence returned. The girl fell to her knees, exhausted. The dragon caught her. The queen looked at humanity. "You are fragile," she said. And yet, she bowed, fully, to all of you. From that day on, dragons were no longer hunted. Humans were no longer ignored. They became bridges, protectors, the ones who stood between power and mercy. And in the quiet years that followed, the galaxy told a new story. A human girl paid 3 credits for a dying dragon and bought the future of everyone.